What you must know about EU law to do business in the European Union. The European Union is one of the largest economic blocs in the world, with 27 member states and over 400 million citizens. No wonder many businesses recognize the potential and want to tap their fingers in the market to really grow and expand. However, there's something specific about the European Union that must be understood for businesses from outside of it, and that is the EU law. First, we're going to go a little bit into the basics of EU law. EU law is not created by the member states, but in cooperation between the three EU institutions. Those are the European Commission, that represents the EU Union's interests, the European Parliament, that directly represents the citizens' interests, and then the Council of the EU, that represents the governments of the member state. They create laws that can be divided into four main categories. Those are regulations that are directly applicable in all of the member states, meaning they're basically equal to the national law. Then we have the EU directives, which set a goal and a timeline by which the member states have to achieve that goal. However, it is left completely at their discretion on how they do that. Then we have recommendations and opinions. Those are not legally binding, however, they're also very important to keep in mind. Now, the biggest opportunity for your business in the European Union that is set up by EU law and regulated by EU law is the European single market. That means that you can basically move goods, people, and services between all of the member states without any additional costs. I talk more on this topic in this video. Now I'm going to go into the four most important aspects that the EU law currently regulates. There is a lot of new legislation coming in the pipeline when it comes to those topics. And those are consumer protection, product specifications, GDPR, and sustainability. Consumer protection means that there is a lot of measures being put in place to protect the consumers in the market, especially keeping in mind that the online product and service providers are growing rapidly at that moment. One of the main changes that has taken place right now when it comes to consumer protection is the Omnibus Directive that I talked about in my previous video. So go check that out to find out more. Now we're going to move to product specifications. Now here there's multiple subcategories of laws. I'm not going to go much into detail because it really depends on what market you're in, what products or services your business provides. Product specifications are different rules that regulate how product should look like, how they should be labeled, many standard requirements that you have to obey by in order to get specific labeling, certification, etc. One of the examples of product specifications is the geographical indication. So in the US, for example, you might see a bottle that says champagne on it, even though it was produced in California. That would never take place in the European Union because of the geographical indication, meaning that some products can only be produced in a very small specific region in the EU. A great example is exactly champagne. It can only be produced in the Champagne region in France. That means that from vine to bottle, the whole process has to take place there, and only then the product can be labeled as champagne. The same applies, for example, to cheeses such as Parmigiano or Grana Padano. The next very important area is GDPR. The EU has been focusing in recent years a lot on making sure that the consumer data is collected, stored, and used in a very specific protected manner. The EU also put here in place a very extensive system of penalties if you do misuse the data of the consumers that you have collected. In particular, their focus is now on data collection that is happening online. Another very important area is sustainability. So the EU has set out a number of very ambitious goals when it comes to air quality, earth quality, water quality, and all of those transpose into new legislations, new requirements, new standards that the businesses have to obey by, whether it comes to transportation, production processes, or even the packaging. Well, it's important to keep in mind that the EU law regulates basically all of the aspects of doing business in Europe. So you don't only have to obey by the national law, but you have to keep in mind the EU law, especially if you're doing business in multiple member states at the same time. The EU law is changing very rapidly. That's why it is very important to keep track of it. The institutions do post regular updates on the new legislations and also process of ongoing legislations so that the subsequent lobbies can influence them. However, here I will be also posting updates on the most important legislations coming into the market this year. So, well, if you enjoyed that video and found it useful, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on my other social media. Till the next time.